Hello, everybody, and thank you for being with us on Power Pro Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross. We have a great program for you today. 2 big tag team main events, both of which have never been seen before on Power Pro Wrestling, and one is an American television exclusive. You're going to see the fabulous Freebirds in that exclusive matchup go against the Rock and Roll Express. What a matchup it will be. It will be later in this hour. Plus, the current UWF tag team champions, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, better known, of course, as the Fantastics, will go against superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell. That match from September of 1985. It is a tremendous tag team battle I'm sure you're going to enjoy. We'll also take a special look at 400-pound Kamala, and we'll see Chavo Guerrero in action going against the very talented Jesse Barr in single competition here on Power Pro Wrestling. We'll also have some key interviews and some insight on some upcoming matches in your area. If you're seeing Power Pro Wrestling for the first time, thank you very much for being with us. We certainly hope that you will enjoy this program. And if you're one of our longtime viewers, we certainly appreciate you inviting us into your home each and every week right here on this great television station. Let's go now to our first match, Jesse Barr and Chavo Guerrero.
So from underneath, Jesse Barr comes up and tries to push that head back. Is that a chokehold? That's up to the referee to decide. From the angle where we saw it, it looked that way. The referee can see it from several angles, and he can tell whether it's time to break it or not. So Barr puts the bear hug on there and tries to pull Chavo to him with a waist lock, and now he gets rid of him. Smash. And again, oh, that was a great wallop. A scooping slam. He gives it to Chavo and lays him in there. So Chavo comes back and dove head first. Come in there beautifully. Did you see that whirl in the air? Chavo Guerrero demonstrating the use of those feet of his in orthodox and unorthodox fashion. 5 minutes have gone by. Side headlock is the grip that Chavo Guerrero now settles for as he leans in there and leans in there tight. And now, for the first time, Jesse Barr throws a blow, and Jesse is using his elbow, and he used his forearm, and has not, in the referee's opinion, thrown an illegal blow. When does a waist lock become a bear hug? When you use it solely for squeezing, it's a bear hug. When you're using those arms around the waist to further your efforts to improve your position, then you're using a waist lock. So Chavo's trying to turn. And I'll tell you, a man with strong arms can apply this particular hold and just make you wish you were someplace else. The effort right now of Chavo Guerrero proves that he wants to be someplace else. There's that grab again, and he got him low underneath the ribs, looking for a soft spot. Some of the taller giants in the game, like Andre or Kamala, Bundy, those fellows go for high on their opponent's chest and back, hoping to restrict his breathing totally and completely. So Chavo now walks right into one. And again, as he comes around, he puts the big squeeze right in there. Jesse Barr has a good, solid, tight hold. Chavo is looking for Mr. Olympia. Chavo is looking for Ted DiBiase. But he had best right now not look past this match. And here it is. There's one, there's two, and a little more than two, but not three, in the opinion of the referee. So there is a crotch hold, and he's looking for the slam, and he throws him with that slam. When the man throws you far away from you can't prepare yourself for the shock. You don't know what it's coming. And now Chavo Guerrero starts moving Barr with a few blows He hits solidly, and now Chavo's got to follow it up, and he does. He takes the switch and whirls him around and puts him in that corner. Across that ring, and Jesse Barr starts chopping away at the Mexican favorite. So Chavo, racked up in the corner, looks for the opportunity. You can bet that he is taken by surprise here by Jesse Barr, and that he is trying to recover from it and get his attack on an even keel. Right in the kisser. Oh, he came along there and clobbered him. Chavo lays it up there, and he kicked him in the back of the neck. Now, from a drop kick, that was a pretty good, well-aimed kick. Back body drop. There's two. There's three. You notice how Chavo Guerrero was up in a bridge that time and bridged himself underneath Jesse Barr, which pushed him up.
The very talented Chavo Guerrero with an impressive victory over Jesse Barr. Chavo using the belly-to-back suplex, one of the many suplexes that he uses in many of his contests. And Chavo has that innate ability to compete very competitively in the junior heavyweight division or the heavyweight division. He's a great athlete. We expect big things from Chavo Guerrero in upcoming weeks. And that match came to us, as a matter of fact, from the Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas. We'll be right back with a look at General Skandar Akbar's 400-pound Kamala after this time limit. Introducing first in the blue corner at 245 pounds from South Carolina, David Diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, making their way into the ring, presented by General Skandar Akbar and accompanied by Friday at 387 pounds, Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior.
David Diamond taking on Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior, under the auspices of General Skandar Akbar, as Friday takes off his equipment in the far side. Paul Fergie, the referee now, anxious for action to get underway. Mighty Warrior from Uganda.
Well, I'll tell you, when he walks in the ring, you better be ready for action to get underway. I've seen big men in my day, but I've never seen men his size that can move like he can, have that natural instinct. He knows how to hurt you. He's a natural wrestler. He's vicious. Everybody wonders the survival between he and Butch Reed. Butch Reed, who became a king of Mid-South in many aspects, and then Kamala, the man who's beat Andre the Giant, who's beat the Junkyard Dog, Akbar's most feared weapon. And Kamala is just, he's already annihilated this man. Kamala this guy never got out of the blocks. Kamala's awesome. I'm not sure that Friday and Akbar have full control of this man. He seems almost like a pit bulldog, just kind of taking his time and putting up with folks.
David Diamond never knew what hit him because the hook, the big Kamala got him.
He is an awesome athlete, everybody. Kamala is simply a phenomenal specimen. Akbar calls him the 8th wonder of the world. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but be that as it may, he is a very agile 400-pounder. And it's rumored that Akbar is definitely looking to sign new talent to join Devastation Incorporated. And I even hear that he may be negotiating with a one-man gang. Be that as it may, with Akbar's resources, I think it's safe to assume that he'll be signing some major talent in the upcoming weeks, and we'll keep you abreast of that situation right here on Power Pro Wrestling. In just a moment, it's going to be the Fantastics against superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell.
City Myriad at September 22nd, 1985, as superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell are getting ready to go against the team of the Fantastics. The Fantastics, of course, the UWF Tag Team Champions, and they have really been moving up and really proving themselves in the area recently. There's Dirty Dutch Mantell with that whip that caused so much controversy and eventually led up to causing a whip on a pole match between the Fantastics and Mantell and Dundee. And these four teams have had, these four men as teams have had some really barn burners of matches. Of course, anytime the Fantastics step into the ring, you know that the match is going to have a really quick pace, because that's the Fantastic style, and that's what helps them compete against the bigger tag teams. There you see the people getting really excited about Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton coming to the ring. As we said before, Rogers and Fulton are very grateful of the fan support. You can tell here they appreciate it, and they try to give some of that love back to the fans. And of course, superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell didn't always rely on the fan support, because most of the time they didn't have any. But they are two awesome wrestlers as well. Make a great tag team combination. Of course, superstar Bill Dundee at this point teaming quite a bit with Nature Boy Buddy Landell. There you see Dundee. He and Mantell, I'm sure, definitely have a strategy mapped out for this match. And of course, the thing that started the whole feud between these four men was the fact that Bobby Fulton does the strut, and Bill Dundee felt like Fulton had stolen it from him. I don't feel like that was the case, because several wrestlers have done that in the past, and I don't think Dundee was even the first one to do it. Look at this, Dundee eager to get the match started, and it looks like he has succeeded, because it has broken out into a Pier 6 brawl right off the bat. The Fantastics have really gone after these two men. All four of these men still clothed in their ring jackets. Looked like Mantell had that whip around Tommy Rogers' neck, and now Tommy's reversed it. Tommy has reversed it, and now he's choking Mantell with the whip. It's Dundee on top of Fulton and Rogers on top of Mantell, as we have a real brawl going here. This match just getting underway. It's like Mantell got the upper hand on Rogers. Now it's Mantell and Dundee have Bobby Fulton in the ring. Dundee and Mantell kick the Fantastics out. They have taken control of this match right off the bat. But it looks like to me that they should have kept that upper hand and kept on applying the punishment instead of letting the Fantastics go out on the floor. This match is just about to get underway, and we'll return with the conclusion of it in just a moment. But first, let's go back to Jim. Into the ring now, getting ready to tie up with superstar Bill Dundee. As we rejoin this, the first of our two tag team main events here on Power Pro Wrestling. This one coming to you from the Oklahoma City Myriad, as Fulton ties up, gets the armbar and twist on Dundee. He's really putting the pressure to Dundee. The feud between these two teams starting, of course, with the two individuals that are in the ring right now. Fantastics, of course, the UWF Tag Team Champions at this point. They have really been proving themselves time and time again in many different situations against many different opponents. But, of course, their biggest and hottest feud right now is with the New Zealand Sheepherders. And some people, some wrestling experts felt that the Fantastics wouldn't be able to stay with the Sheepherders just because the Sheepherders are such good brawlers, but Fulton and Rogers have really proved themselves against the Sheepherders. And I'll tell you, I firmly believe this. A good wrestler can beat a good brawler any day of the week. As Tommy Rogers comes off the second rope, nails Mantell, and then hammers Dundee on the outside of the ring, to the delight of this large crowd here at the Oklahoma City Myriad. Tommy Gilbert, the referee in this match, making the count on those two men. As Rogers and Fulton go back to discuss some tag team strategy, and of course their strategy most often is to keep the tempo of the match high, to keep the pace going. because their conditioning is such that they can go just all night long as fast as they possibly can, and they could keep the intensity level of the match at such a high pace that if their if their opponents make one mistake, they could capitalize on it and catch you. They don't necessarily specialize in any one finishing maneuver. A lot of their victories have happened just from inside cradles and splashes, and they have a number of devastating maneuvers that they execute, and they're so unpredictable. Dirty Dutch Mantell slapping Tommy Rogers as he uses the armbar and twist on Rogers, and I think he's getting Rogers a little bit hot. Mantell is the kind of guy that likes to use a lot of psychology in that ring. And if he could try and psych out his opponent by doing something like slapping him, it's not so much a slap as punishing as one of those right crosses that Tommy Rogers is throwing now, but the slap is more of a degrading type of move. And now Rogers slapping Mantell right back. Looks like we're about to have a brawl here, and referee Tommy Gilbert is telling these two men that this is a wrestling match and not a boxing match. Gilbert turning around to answer to Bill Dundee, which you better watch, because Mantell and Dundee are definitely going to try and take the referee out of position, I'm sure. Arm drag and a high-flying head scissors. Tommy Rogers really caught Mantell, and Mantell got into the wrong corner that time as Bobby Fulton nailed him. And listen to this crowd, they love it. The Fantastics know how to show off, but they also know how to wrestle in the ring. There's no question about that. Dundee in now. Bill Dundee may not be the biggest guy in the squared circle, but he definitely has as much balance and agility, if not more, than anybody else in the ring. Dundee caught off guard there and begging for a little bit there, but man, Fulton hammered him. Dundee goes out over the top rope and even out over the ring barricade. When you drop down from that 8 or 9 feet down onto the concrete floor and you're a little bit off balance, that ring barricade sure sneaks up on you in a hurry, as Dundee just found that out. Dundee getting up slowly to the count of Tommy Gilbert. Tommy Rogers had his eye on Dundee, and it looked like Mantell tried to get in a cheap shot on Tommy Rogers. Not too effective, though, as Bobby Fulton takes Dundee over the top rope and into the ring. Mantell had better get back into his corner, or he and Tommy Gilbert are going to be having some troubles here along the way. Fulton really tightening up that armbar and twist. Oh, Dundee looked like he was going for that right cross. And Tommy Gilbert, the saving grace in that situation. As Fulton, again, really applying the pressure to that armbar and twist. You can see Fulton is resting his weight against the joint of the elbow. Not only could that break a man's arm, but it's definitely a good way to... Oh, man. Fulton with the right there just planted Dundee. And Tommy Rogers looked like he was about to get a 3 count, but Dundee is so quick, puts that foot out on the ropes and saves himself from the fall. Dundee really trying to make the tag. Rogers ain't going to let him make it, as Rogers takes Dundee back down to the canvas. Rogers and Fulton controlling Dundee, trying to keep him in their half of the ring. Classic tag team strategy in action, as you'll always see when the Fantastics are there. They definitely do a very good job of that, keeping their opponent in their half of the ring. As you heard, Fulton really hammering Dundee there. And here his fist connected to the face of Dundee. Fulton and Rogers look like they're setting these two men up for a double arm whip into each other. They connect, and it looks like Mantell and Dundee are in dire straits at this point. But all four men are in the ring right now. I think Tommy Gilbert is going to definitely try and break this situation up before it gets out of hand. Of course, there's no titles on the line in this match. This match definitely brought about by the feud between Rogers and Fulton. Tommy Rogers, the feud between Fulton and Dundee. Rogers came in to try and make the count there for his partner. Of course, that probably wouldn't have been official even if Rogers had made the 3 count. And Tommy Gilbert having to check these two men. Dundee and Mantell looked as if they might have been reaching for some kind of a foreign object there earlier in the match. And I certainly don't believe that that is above Superstar Dundee and his tactics in the ring. Rogers again controlling the arm. They have really tried to control Dundee's arm in this match, and now Dundee is talking to the referee. The referee thought that Dundee might have pulled something out of his trunks just then, and Mantell comes in, gets a cheap shot on Rogers, and Dundee and Mantell have switched the momentum in a big hurry. That's all it takes, is just getting that referee out of position one time where you can double up and do your dirty work, and they've done it. And now it's up to Mantell and Dundee to control Tommy Rogers and keep him in their half of the ring. Mantell really hammered Rogers. Rogers gets a shoulder up. Mantell with a near fall, and he rakes his knee across the face of Tommy Rogers. Really vicious move there. Mantell. Got to say this about Mantell. He certainly knows how to punish an opponent. Now look at this. Mantell going over and distracting the referee by trying to get Bobby Fulton into the ring. And Fulton came in. Look at this. Dundee using the butt end of that whip to hit Rogers in the throat. You can see Rogers just writhing in pain there. As Mantell and Dundee have put Tommy Rogers in a big predicament. Mantell using those taped up fists to continue the punishment to Tommy Rogers. Tag is made. Superstar Bill Dundee in. As I said before, this is the first of our tag team main events today. Coming up, we have Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts going against the Rock and Roll Express. The fabulous Freebirds against the Rock and Roll Express. Stick around. It's going to be a great match. But look at this. Dundee and Mantell again are double teaming on Rogers. As Fulton coming into the ring to help his partner once again, turns out to be a detriment. And now it's Rogers getting his foot on the rope as Dundee tries to get the fall. Quick tag in again as Mantell. Oh, Rogers is fighting back. Rogers is fighting back. There again, you see evidence of that fantastic conditioning that these two men have. Rogers and Fulton could take you to the wall in every match. That's what's made them the champions. Clothesline. Oh, almost a 3 count. Rogers very close to being pinned at that point. Mantell goes in for the body slam. Rogers really looks to be hurting, and now Mantell has distracted the referee again as Bill Dundee comes off the top rope. I don't think the referee saw it. If he had, that would have been a disqualification. Referee Tommy Gilbert did not see it, but again, the referee being distracted has worked against Dundee and Mantell in that situation, as Dundee was not able to catch the fall on Tommy Rogers because Gilbert was busy with Mantell. They had him distracted just a little bit too long, and I think it serves him right. But there again, Tommy Rogers is the one who's having to pay for it and the one who's really being punished. Dundee, Dundee looks like he's going to his boot for something. Dundee is so cocky. Gilbert down for the count again. Tommy Rogers kicks out. Oh, Rogers connected again with a hard right as Mantell comes in to keep that tag from being made. Rogers was just inches away from making that tag as Dundee again tries to distract the referee by bringing Bobby Fulton out, and Rogers catches Mantell in an inside drop cradle. Again, it looked like Rogers had him pinned, but Tommy Gilbert was not there to make the count. Mantell up to the second rope. This could be it. Mantell connects with a couple of hard forearms on Tommy Rogers, and that might have been a good place to try and pin Rogers because Rogers is certainly hurting. A standing power slam by Bill Dundee. He's certainly powerful for a man his size. Tommy Gilbert again over there with Dutch Mantell, and Bill Dundee quickly out to the top rope. He went to the top rope and he missed. Going for the coup de grace on Rogers. They were unable to put him away, it seemed like. Fulton into the ring now. Tommy Rogers made that tag. And none too soon as Fulton comes in, and he is cleaning house. Look at this. Mantell's caught in the ropes. Dundee really being hammered. Fulton caught Mantell and Dundee off guard and put them both in a bad way. Rogers really elevates Mantell there. High drop kick. Bobby Fulton still with Dundee. Oh, man. Fulton came off that top rope on Tommy Gilbert, and Gilbert's hurt. You can see Gilbert writhing in pain. It looks like Dundee and Mantell are setting up for a team move. They're trying to put Bobby Fulton away, but Fulton pulls Dundee into the way. Mantell comes up on Dundee. And yes, Bobby Fulton gets the pin on superstar Bill Dundee. A big victory for the Fantastics here in Oklahoma City at the Myriad Center. The Fantastics moving on up. They are really proving themselves here in the UWF. You see the official decision from Tommy Gilbert. Let's go back to Jim.
A super victory in the career of Tommy Rogers and Bobby
Looking at no stranger. Y'all know what you're looking at, the fox that rocks. That's right, Michael P.S. Hayes. And I'm the man that boogies, I'm the man that rocks. On the left side, you know I got Terry Bam Bam going there. He walks tall, carries a big stick. He don't need the stick because he's got the Oriental spike. My hot shot on the right, Buddy Jack Roberts, 230 pounds of hot stuff, and he don't stop till he gets enough. And everyone in the Metroplex knows that Fantasia never stops. You see, we got tired of getting ripped off, man. We got tired of conspiracy. And to top it all off, then UWF, the biggest organization in wrestling, came up and gave us $1 million. Now, I know everybody in Dallas knows Michael Hayes can throw a party in the Metroplex and spend the whole 7 figures in one night. But I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna keep kicking butt, I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling, and my brothers are gonna keep strutting and strolling. Be ready, Metroplex.
Main event from downtown New Orleans in the Municipal Auditorium. As you hear the chant of the fans, rock and roll, rock and roll. This match is just getting underway. A fantastic main event. This match has only been seen in Japan. This is the first time it's airing here in the States, as Buddy Roberts ties up with Robert Gibson. This match is sure to be an exciting one. The fabulous Freebirds have wrestled the Rock and Roll Express previous to this match. And before the match, they said that they had their strategy worked out and their game plan worked out. Now that they have wrestled the Rock and Roll Express once before, they have scouted them. They know what they're capable of, and they know how to defense them and how to execute a workable offense against them. And also on the outside of the ring is Michael Hayes, the manager and sometimes referred to as the brains of the fabulous Freebirds, the third member. I'm sure he'll become a deciding factor in this match before it's all said and done with. You see massive Bam Bam Gordy on the outside of the ring. Ricky Morton on the other side. Nice roll there by Buddy Roberts, but Robert Gibson reverses it quickly into the figure 4 of the head. Robert Gibson ties up an arm and really bears down on this hold. Gibson makes the tag. Now here he and Morton, I'm sure, are going to try and keep Buddy Roberts in their half of the ring. Gibson really lashes out against Buddy Roberts. And Roberts complaining vehemently that the rules had been broken. And look at here, Michael Hayes of Bad Street USA. We'll be seeing Michael's video next week, Bad Street USA, here on Power Pro Wrestling. In my opinion, one of the finest wrestling videos ever produced. Buddy Roberts goes in for the single leg on Morton. Morton kicks him off with a stomach throw. Morton executes that so well. Buddy Roberts back down into the turnbuckle again. He makes the tag in to Bam Bam Terry Gordy. Ricky Morton is going to have to change his strategy after being in the ring against Buddy Roberts and now into the ring against Bam Bam Terry Gordy. Collar and elbow tie up. Carl Fergie trying to break the hold up. It's on the ropes. Gordy really plants one into the face of Ricky Morton. Oh, nice move by Morton. He ducked under just in time. He is so quick as Gordy went for a press. Gordy is such an agile man for his size. And of course, he and Hacksaw Jim Duggan at one time were somewhat friends, but now Gordy has come into the area, and he said that since Duggan has the North American title and he wants it, a friendship is out the window. He says he used to beat him in chasing women, he used to beat him in pool, and he will beat him for the North American title, and that remains to be seen as Robert Gibson gets the lateral press. Gordy with just about catches a fall on Gibson, had him in a predicament. The people are really getting behind Robert Gibson as we see the tag in to Buddy Roberts. Double arm whip, a double kick to the midsection on Gibson. We hate to do this, folks, but we're going to have to fulfill our commercial commitments at this time. We're going to be back with the conclusion of this great main event. Please stay with Buddy Roberts in a front face lock here. Roberts and Morton pretty well evenly matched in size, but of course Roberts with the edge in ring experience. Both Roberts and Morton excellent wrestlers. Buddy Roberts, I think, is definitely not a person who's playing with a full deck of cards. He's pretty much in wrestling because he likes the pain. Ricky Morton there going after Buddy Roberts and really nailed his shoulder at the steel ring post there. Buddy Roberts tags into Terry Gordy. And now Gordy is going to pick up the pace on Ricky Morton and really try to put the punishment to him. Like I said before, the Freebirds had a game plan in mind when they went out against the Rock and Roll Express. And that was to just go for the punishment. Stay on them as much as you can. And don't go for the fall until that very last second, because they know how quick the Rock and Roll Express can recuperate and fire back on you. And if you don't time it exactly right, it's tough to get a fall on them. Of course, that's what's made the Rock and Roll Express one of the top tag teams in the entire world. Wow, look at this. Terry Gordy, so agile, so large. Comes off the second rope with a flying body press on Ricky Morton, and I am really surprised that he wasn't able to catch a fall. Listen to these fans. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. They're really behind Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. As Terry Gordy continues to put the punishment to him. Buddy Roberts has been tagged in, though, and he is the one who's going to have to continue the onslaught on Morton. Morton at this point needs to make a tag. Whether after that flying body press from Gordy, I don't see how he's even standing up. Buddy Roberts still trying to put the punishment to him. It looks like he's going to go for a bulldog headlock. Yes, he is. Rather, he takes Morton's face straight to the mat. Buddy Roberts trying for kind of an unorthodox pinning hold there, and Ricky Morton countered it quite quickly by bringing the knees into the head. And the fans, once again, really chant, rock and roll, as Bam Bam Terry Gordy is back into the ring, and that spells trouble for Ricky Morton. Morton goes over the top rope. Terry Gordy moving in. Looks like he's trying to get Robert Gibson to come into the ring, and he does, and that only puts the referee out of position. And there, Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes from the outside of the ring gets in a cheap shot on Morton, and now Terry Gordy throws Morton out all the way over the top rope. And again, Carl Fergie had his back turned, but you see how quickly Gordy was able to monopolize on that. Michael Hayes standing as if he didn't do anything to put Morton out of the ring. Carl Fergie suspects Hayes, but there's the culprit right there standing in the center of the ring, Terry Bam Bam Gordy. 310 pounds of nothing but bad, and he has Ricky Morton in a deep predicament. Gordy never ceases to amaze me as to what a great athlete he really is. He has such great stamina, such great staying power. He's a great fighter and a great wrestler. Definitely one of the top 10 wrestlers in the entire world. Michael Hayes again taunting Ricky Morton from the outside of the ring. And Morton's blood has got to be boiling at this point. Buddy Roberts raking him across the ropes. These two men can get as vicious and physical as any team in wrestling. Ricky Morton looks as if he's blinded by those ropes. And you can see why. Listen to these fans. Rock and roll, rock and roll. Again, the chant comes alive, and Ricky Morton comes alive along with him. That fan support helps him so much when he's down. Buddy Roberts going for the fall there, but unable to catch it. As many of you who watch UWF wrestling know that the Freebirds have signed to come to the area under one of the most lucrative contracts in our history. Ricky Morton going up high for it looked like the flying body press, but Gordy catches him in midair. Morton had the momentum, but he just didn't quite have the bullet to topple Terry Gordy. Gordy caught him right there in the middle of the ring. Buddy Roberts in now after the quick tag. Roberts and Gordy switching off quite frequently in this match, with Gordy, I think, getting the majority of the time in the ring in an effort to keep that big man out there and switch it up. They've had executed great strategy throughout. Now Morton looks like he's about to make the tag. Roberts gets a tag, and Morton runs over to the other side and tags in Gibson. Gibson, the fresh man in the ring. He's hitting Gordy with drop kicks. Gordy going to the ropes. Terry Gordy has really shown a lot of power in this match. As Robert Gibson takes in Roberts for the roll-up, it looks like he's setting him for the pin. However, Carl Fergie's trying to put Ricky Morton out of the ring, and Robert Gibson goes up, and Terry Gordy with that reverse pile driver. It's Robert Gibson to the back of the head on the mat and catches the fall. 1, 2, and 3, a victory for the fabulous Freebirds over a fantastic team, the Rock and Roll Express, here in New Orleans at the Downtown Municipal Auditorium. Let's go back to Jim.